welcome to this week's edition of Mainly Motorsports. It seems like it's been forever since my buddy Greg Emerson, and people miss you when I don't have you around, you know?
Yeah, because I'm attractive, I guess.
Attractive. Wow.
Yeah, no.
You must have worked long and hard to come up with that one.
I don't know. I 2 seconds right there.
Yeah, but no, it's good. We have a lot of fun. You have a lot of racing knowledge.
Yeah.
You know, not only, you know, what goes on at the track, but the behind-the-scenes stuff, you know, and it works out good. And, you know, we had you on for a cameo, so to speak, a couple weeks ago with the Past 400 weekend. And,
Yep.
you know, really, it's funny. The last 2 times we've had you on was kind of like you had a lot going on both those times. We had the Beach Ridge race, the final, the finale, where Billy Rogers clinched his first championship.
Yep.
But we forgot to mention that you guys finally won a race, you know, that night. Dan put the Naughty 40 in victory lane, you know.
Yeah, that was the first time in a couple of years, I think, that we had actually won a race. And winning a race wasn't always the most important thing to us when we were chasing points. And we knew we weren't going to probably beat Billy, so that was our goal that night, to get down, hunker down, and get a race.
And you did. And then, you know, 2 weeks ago at the Past 400 weekend, you know, Dan ran the 100-lap sportsman race, ruffled some feathers.
Yeah.
But that's what this sport needs sometimes. And then you had to jump right out of that and jump right into the pass car. And what a great run you guys had.
Yeah, we ended up 5th. And it was a good time, you know. We learned a lot and picked up a little bit of respect, I think, from that.
Yeah, and that's what happens. And, you know, we talk to the young drivers of today coming up and trying to make their mark is, you know, the first thing you got to do when you race with these veterans is gain respect. You're not gonna buy it. You're not gonna come in and outspend them and think that they're gonna respect you because of it.
I mean, we went to White Mountain the next week just to race the sportsman car, and you know, had a few people mention our run at Beach Ridge in the Super Late model, so that was good, you know.
No, and that is cool, you know, when people recognize you for your accomplishments, you know, and I don't know if you guys have even run that race, maybe 1 or 2 other times?
Yeah, maybe once. I'm not even sure.
And, you know, so that'd be...
Costs a lot of money to run that race. Just, you know, that's been one of the main factors. I mean, everybody has their own budget, but to run the 300, it costs quite a bit of money. You got to have 12 tires. You got to have fuel. Yeah, and then you got to have the time and want.
And the people, whether you pay their way in or they pay their own way in. It's $80, $90, $100 for the 3 days, you know. Right. So it's a big commitment. You know, you're not just going to do it for the sake of doing it. You want to do it and hopefully have some results.
We had a few extra sponsors, you know, people step up, you know, like Robbie Dorr, an ex-racer, and he's like, hey, I'll buy your tire if you're going to run that race. They work with him, you know, on and off doing construction jobs, you know. And we had JT Construction, another local guy, who he actually comes to the track and helps us on the car, and, you know, every week, but he doesn't, you know, hasn't been on one of the cars, but, you know, so we actually had a few guys that stepped up and says, hey, I'll buy your tire, hey, I'll buy a tire. You know, so
yeah, no, and that's real cool.
If you want to run the race, we'll buy your tire. That works good. That's
good. So I mean, you think the season's winding down, but there's still a lot going on.
Yeah, it's been a wash for this week.
yeah, we'll touch on that.
Yeah,
you know,
and I just I wasn't on the show, but I got to see your show from last week with the coverage from the Mainly Motorsports 400, and holy crap.
There was some racing.
You had some go-kart action, didn't you?
Yeah, we did. And one thing I didn't touch on last week because we were kind of jam-packed, and I just want to throw it out there, was Mike and Laura Harnish. You know, everybody knows Mike Harnish, former Outlaw champion with the Pro All-Star Series, number 22. Now you can follow along with him on the forum boards. He's, you know, whether you agree with him or not, the guy goes to races. He's a race fan. He's a race supporter, a track supporter.
And from what I read on the forum, he's a red hot dog eater also.
Ooh, I love red hot dogs. But Mike and Laura, unfortunately, Laura was in a car accident last winter. And everybody was fine, her and the son there, her daughter. And but they attribute a lot of that to the car seat, booster seat, that they were using. It was from a company called Kids Embrace, and Mike contacted the company just to let them know that, hey, you know, really appreciate your product working, you know, saved my kid's life and stuff. Well, the company, you know, stepped up, sent Mike another one. Mike says, I'd like to buy a couple and maybe give them away for donations, you know, and the company wouldn't hear of it. So we'll give them to you. So they sent him 2. Mike decided to donate one to the Mainly Motorsports TV 400, and B, donate the other one to Unity. So I wanted to give it away. I didn't want to sell raffle tickets. So what we did up there is we gave a ticket. Any mother or grandmother or any woman in attendance that had a child under 100 pounds that wanted a chance to win this car seat.
Right, yeah.
You know, and we all know our kids are cool now. When they get 4 or 5 years old, even though the doctors and the police and everybody else says they need to still be in a booster seat, the kid says, no, I'm too big for a booster seat. So my thought is maybe if a bigger kid, you know, wins this Dale Earnhardt Jr. booster seat, you know, or a car seat, you know, they'll want to get in it. So we gave away tickets. You know, you just come up and we announced it and said, hey, here's your ticket and we're going to have a drawing. Well, we had a drawing and it was so cool because you see in the photos here. Mike and Laura donated it, and why they donated it was she was in an accident, a rollover last winter, and their 4-year-old was in one of these and didn't get a scratch on them. So they called the company, told them they'd like to buy a couple and donate them. It couldn't have gone to a better situation because it went to somebody that's going to get a lot of use out of it.
Right.
Little TJ Moon, his mom Jessie, and his dad Jeff was so tickled to win that. You know,
Right.
and so that's what was really neat. And I really thank Mike. And you know, these are. That's a little thing, but you know, to a family, you know, that's probably $150 unit. I mean,
Right.
that's a nice looking unit. Now he's going to use it as a car seat. 2-3 years from now, he'll use it as a booster seat. So
right, yeah, just another example of races giving back.
You're exactly right. You know, and it was pretty neat because you know it didn't necessarily go to a racer.
Right.
You know, they were up there spectating. You know, I don't know why they were there, who they came to see. Maybe they just came to see some great racing, but. Lo and behold, they take home a car seat, you know, and that was pretty cool. So, you know, thank you to Mike and Laura and, you know, what they did. Jordan was the flagman up there that weekend, but, you know.
It does a good job.
Yeah, so it was a good time. So, and it was pretty neat. So if you're interested in the product, you know, go to kidsembrace.com and you can look up and see what they have and, you know, and support somebody that supports us. And that's what this game's all about.
Exactly.
But you mentioned earlier, Greg, everything's pretty much a wash this weekend, but we got some... we had a great show planned today. I want to touch on some things coming up. The Northeast Motorsports Expo. Seems like every time I turn around, I got something going on. Huh? I just finished the go-kart deal.
Right.
Augusta show's right around the corner, so we're going to talk a little bit about that. And then...
yeah, we got to talk payroll, don't we?
Payroll, yeah. And what's payroll?
Right.
Yeah. Chris Marley traveled up to Unity, you know, the same weekend or last weekend.
Some more champions? Some
more champions. I mean, we're wrapping them up. We got champions amongst champions.
They're rolling in.
You know, and then the Unity dirt track. I mean, a lot of people
don't even know it's there.
Don't even know it's there. But Chris went out and tracked out and found the guys up there, and what a great group of guys. You know, Fantasy Speedway there, and you know, just another form of motorsports out there. You know.
Right. Yep.
But we're gonna take a break, and we'll be right back here on Mainly Motorsports.
Life in Maine is all about outdoor fun and being close to nature. Southern Maine Jeep is all about delivering you the best selection and the best prices at one location. Live it up with a new 2011 Jeep Grand Cherokee, increased horsepower and mileage, or go for the all-new look of the Jeep Compass 4x4. If Maine had a state car, it would be the Jeep. No other vehicle has the capabilities that come standard on every Jeep. No other dealer is working as hard to be #1 as Southern Maine Motors.
Thinking about a new camper? What if you could get a new camper now and not pay for it till next year? Now you can at Scotch Recreation. Buy a new travel trailer, we'll make your payments until January 2012. Buy any new fifth wheel, we'll make your payments until March 2012. Over 100 units in stock and online at scotchrecreation.com. Camp now, pay later.
Scott's Recreation, Route 4 Turner and Route 202 Manchester, Maine.
You're watching Mainly Motorsports, brought to you by Northern Race Tire, dealer for Sunoco Race Fuels, distributed by New England Racing Fuel. Award Champs, rewarding your champions, the official supplier of Mainly Motorsports.
Well, Greg, isn't it ironic when something happens for, you know, I don't want to say happens for a reason, but when we actually hit on something right, and you were at the 250, we had a great time.
Yep.
Well, we spent probably... I mean, the interview was 7 or 8 minutes, but we spent probably an hour to an hour and a half just talking with Joey Carafas.
Yeah, after the interview was over, I think I spent an hour and a half just shooting the bull with him, talking about the old times, talking about the way things are then and now.
And how ironic, we air that on last week's episode, and this week it gets announced that Joey got elected into the
NIA Hall of Fame.
NIA Hall of Fame, New England Auto Racing Hall of Fame, you know, so... congratulations to Joey. And it was today. I went to lunch with some friends of mine, Mike Locks and Larry Terrio, Mike Rowe, and all of us. Getting together. Jerry Hicks was. Everybody might recognize the name of Hicks and Lux. They owned Mike's stuff for years, owned Derek Lynch's stuff, Jerry did, and all that, and some stuff. We went to lunch. Sandy McKinnon was there. Sandy McKinnon, one of the former car owners of Joey Carafas. We got talking about
the pumpkin patch.
The pumpkin,
In October, how fitting.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, for all you young racers, obviously not the little kids because they don't mean to them. Dan McKeag is the story, okay? Yeah. But to the Dan McKeags of the world, which I know Dan and Lyman are very supportive of the Vane Vintage and stuff. If you ever get a chance to talk to these guys, whether it's Mike Rowe, Sandy McKinnon, Bob Babb, Dave Davo, Ray Penfold, any of these, and just listen to the stories of yesteryear.
Your former co-host, Dave Gutta.
These guys have been around. And I sat there with Sandy today, and we kind of let Sandy hold court there down at the Clam Bake. And just the stories. I mean, I never knew that.
I can imagine.
I never knew that Homer Drew drove for him.
Yeah.
In one race, 1 for 1. So it was just a great time. So if you ever get the chance to hang around with some of the previous generation, listen to some of the stories that what made this sport how great it is today.
Some of the people who were involved 30 years ago.
I had Sandy on the show. One of my first shows I ever did. Brought Sandy up, and I remember we're getting ready, and I said, all right, they're gonna take you out back, Sandy. And he says, out back for what? I said, well, makeup. This is TV. They put makeup on you. He really thought he was getting makeup, but I'm gonna try it. Sandy goes to Florida in the winter, and I really think I'm gonna try to get a piece with him before he goes, just to have for us to use some point this winter, because just listen to these guys and some of the things that they went through to try to win races or get to the racetrack, or the stories are just amazing.
Yeah, they put out a lot of effort back in the day.
They did. Not that the generation today doesn't, but we got it a lot easier than what they had.
Yeah.
So
they didn't just always run down to Spank and get some parts.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Call up Crazy Horse and say, hey, I'm gonna, I need a chassis. Will you build me a chassis? Or Jeff Taylor and say, hey, I gotta drop it off Monday. I need a snout. They did it all themselves.
They started down at the boneyard.
Yeah, exactly. But still some great racing left because of this weekend.
Yeah.
The Long John.
It's next weekend.
Saturday and Sunday.
The 8th and 9th, yeah.
The big deal up there used to be notorious as the last weekend of racing for the year. But because of, the past race at Oxford and, a couple other things, it's not going to be. But still, it's got a history there,
Yep.
And it's going to be some great racing. Probably one of the bigger deals of the weekend is the 50-lap Alan Fletcher Memorial Race, Going to pay some big money, pay some big hardware. Wally Gibbons and his group has been working real hard with George and going to make it happen.
Yep. Wally's on his game putting these races together on a whim, isn't he?
Yeah, and that's what you need because, it's like another force behind the tracks, And now George can actually take his program to the next level because he's got somebody out there working with him and helping him,
Yeah, Wally, I've seen him in action a couple times. I saw him in action at the most recent one was the John Phippen deal, and he was all over that.
No, he was, and so it should be a great time up there at the Long John, and we're going to bring you some footage from it, and then the 15th annual MSA Snowmobile Show. I mean, I know everybody hates the word snow, except the people relying on snow for their business.
At the home of the Northeast
At the home of the Northeast Motorsports Expo. You're correct. You're learning, Daniel's son. Wipe on, wipe off. But that's going to be a great time. We'll bring you some highlights from there. A lot of the clubs are in attendance. You got the lodging places, that are in attendance.
I've been to it a few times, and it's a good time just to walk around, see the new equipment, see the new gear to wear, the new helmets, the new gloves, everything. They have everything.
When you do stop up there, you'll have 3 of our supporters. Scott Lamfer from Scott's Recreation.
Yep.
He's there. He's always got a big display of clothing, like you said. And usually right on the back corner, when you walk in and go all the way to the far left, Scott and Holly and the family working hard. And
bam, it's on the screen up behind us.
Yep. Hey, how ironic, huh? Scott's Recreation, 3 convenient locations. But, so say hi to Scott, Keith Wood, Team Woody's over there in Topsom, and selling Yamahas, and Keith not only sells them, he races them. You know, you'll
Yeah.
see him dragging them up at Oxford, and, you know, so stop over and see him. And then Kramer's, they always have a beautiful Attic Cat display. So, you know, 3 supporters of Mainly Motorsports
Right,
out
yep.
there at the MSA show. So if you get a chance and stop by, tell them that you appreciate
You know,
them.
and the MSA show ties right in with racing because you have the charity rides that a lot of races put on in the winter. I mean, if they're not racing in the summer, most races are snowmobiling in the winter.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we've all ridden them. We've all got some type of recreation like that we do. And
Yeah, no, so, you know, it's a great opportunity, you know, go up there and Friday night or Saturday night after you're over there at Unity and the Long John. So
Yep.
say hi to our 3 supporters that support Mainly Motorsports. So we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to have some highlights from the Unity Dirt Track.
Clark's Car Crushing has been a family-owned and operated business since 1978. We do everything from crushing cars, handling industrial scraps, to buying the scrap metal right out of the back of your pickup. Copper, brass, stainless steel, aluminum, you name it, we'll buy it. We have roll-off containers of all sizes for industrial accounts. We'll handle the legwork with full drop-off and pickup services. So for a professional job, guaranteed honest weights, and top dollar paid statewide, come see the Clark family in Farmingdale, Maine. Clark's Car Crushing. Don't fix it, scrap it.
Is it time to replace that old car, but past credit problems are getting in the way? At JT Motors, credit issues are a thing of the past. We have vehicles for any need. Growing family? How about a minivan? With winter here, come in and browse our great selection of 4-wheel drive utilities. With a low down payment, you can qualify for this program despite those past credit issues. That's JT Motors, 650 Roosevelt Trail, Windham, where you always drive away with a smile on your face.
You're watching Mainly Motorsports, brought to you by Scott's Recreation, now at 3 convenient locations. Go to scottsrecreation.com to view their inventory. Clark's Car Crushing, located in Hollowell, providing guaranteed honest weights with top dollar being paid.
I'm Chris Marley with Mainly Motorsports. We're down here today at Fantasy Speedway in Unity, Maine, a place that's really taken me back in time, and we're here with one of the directors, Ron Clark. And Ron, we want to thank you for having us down here today. Could you just give us a little history of this?
History of this is really just a bunch of guys that either played, some of the older folks that played in this era, or the rest of us who were kids, 6, 7, 8 years old, who fell in love with these cars and knew when it was over that it was never going to happen again. And then by some luck of the draw, it did happen again after 55 years. And we're doing the same thing that they did back then, or as close as we can come to it, and having as much fun as did back then.
Yeah, it certainly looked like it's a good time. I know, as you were saying up in the booth today, that you don't know if you want to be in the parade or if you want to watch the parade, and I sensed what you were talking about there. Tell us how many times a year you run down here.
We planned 7 times this year, and our hurricane friend decided that one Sunday we'd kind of rest. So we ran 6 times this year. We started 4th Sunday in June and planned on running through the 25th here. The guys don't want to run every week. They don't want that stress. It's too much fun. It takes a little time. It's a hobby, and it takes time to put the cars back together, and we do disassemble them on the track on occasion, but we always get them back together.
Now, if somebody wants to visit you, where are you located?
Well, the track is here on Reynolds Road in Unity Plantation. That's off Route 139. We work out of my house, which is on Route 9 in Dixmont, half a mile towards Unity from Route 7. When you cross Route 7 coming from Bangor, you go downhill, uphill, right there at the top of the hill. Just half a mile.
Yeah, real easy to find. The thing that I sensed here today was the fact that, you got something going on here that not only brings back memories to guys that perhaps have experienced this, but also it's an education for guys who perhaps don't know the history of racing here in the state of Maine and across our nation.
Yeah, well, we incorporated as a non-profit educational organization. we wanted to build, and we're having some degree of success at this point, a living museum of where all the stock car racing in Maine came from, and take people back to the 50s as much as we can. And as it turns out, even more than we recognized back then, these guys that were racing with each other so intently back then were good buddies. They cared about, they loved each other, you know. They were friends or relatives. And we're finding that right here. You don't see any animosity out here. You don't see that kind of thing going on, or somebody being jealous about somebody else. No, they back work on each other's cars. Whoever's going slowest gets a team, you know, working on them. And then if you can do something tweaking the car and it goes out and beats you, you're happy about it. It's a fantastic thing, the attitudes we have here. They're all smiling all the time. They laugh and they joke, give each other a rough time. You know, they're on each other's case, and but it's all with love going on. You know, it's kind of a love fest. You know, really. Yep. It's a love of old cars. It's a love of old race cars, and you really get to care about the people that are involved in this, and they're so generous. And
well, Ron, again, thank you for having us down here today. We're looking forward to getting back here again next year, and we'll definitely be in touch with you.
Okay, that's great. Anybody who loves flatheads or inlines, come on down.
Caught up with Steve McCann, who has just won the feature race here in the Jalopy division today. Man, you look like you were having a great time out there.
It's a riot. I love it. It's a blast being sideways that fast.
It has got to be. Now, tell us a little bit about your vehicle here.
Well, it's a 43 Dodge pickup on an early 30s Plymouth chassis with a mid-70s slant 6.
And you've raced here for how many years?
Just this summer.
Just this summer. All right. Okay. And is this
together this winter?
Yep. Yeah. You've certainly have done a great job with that.
Well, thank you very much. I had about as much fun building it as racing it.
Yeah, I can see that you were having a great time out there. So, congratulations on your win. All right. We're with Dick McPhail of the Modified Sportsman Division. Just took the feature here today. Want to congratulate you on that. How many years you been out here racing on this dirt?
Well, I've been racing 50 years altogether.
Yep, 50 years now. All dirt or you asphalt dirt?
I race both.
Yep, race both.
Started on the dirt 50 years ago.
Yep. Well, so you're back to your roots.
Yep. I love it.
You certainly look like you were having a great time. Tell us about your vehicle here.
Yeah, it's just a 46 Ford, 37 Ford transmission, and Chevrolet engine, 250, 6-cylinder. Bought an adapter and adapted it to the 37 Ford transmission. Other than that, the car's all 46 Ford.
Now that's kind of we don't you don't see them stock like that every day, right?
Nope. A lot of people use different frames, more modern stuff, but this is supposed to be vintage. And my gun I used to drive for, Al Robinson, he had a car just like this, and they wouldn't sell his to me, so I went and built one of my own.
Well, there you go. Well, you certainly have done a great job with that, and again, we want to congratulate you.
Thank you.
Well, that looked pretty neat, huh?
Yeah, the dirt flying.
I'd be spitting up dust. I'd want a helmet with the old bandana like Dr. Dick. Remember old
Right,
Dr.
yeah,
Dick?
I remember that when
the
I was
bandana.
a kid.
So we got to pencil that in next year and try to hit up there, and maybe we can line us up a couple of rides. Like a little.
I don't race.
You
I
gotta.
don't. I
Your
don't
mother
ride.
said we had your mother on the phone one night. And she said you used to have a bicycle with whose number on it years ago?
It was
your
my
Uncle
Uncle Gordon's,
61, right?
Oh no, it was 28. It was
28?
way back.
Way back. So
Yeah.
Well, maybe we'll get you in something.
I don't race.
What about a soapbox derby car?
I would probably do that. I'd have the upper hand going down there.
Oh, once that baby got going, the end of the.
It would really stink stopping, but
Yeah, but something would stop you.
yeah, I don't. I've made it my own personal mission not to race for a long time.
I tried it. I sucked, but it was fun.
Right.
Once in a while, I get in the vintage thing.
Listen, I've seen guys. You know how I am into safety, and I've seen guys, little guys, crash, and I've seen the strap burns that they get and stuff like that. And they say strap burns build character, but you know what? I'm 3 times the size of most of those guys, and so I'm gonna hit 3 times as hard.
Once they lubed up the sides of the seat, pushed you in,
I'm done.
strapped you in, you ain't going nowhere.
I ain't doing it.
Oh, jeez. Wow, wow, wow. All right, we're going to take a break, and we'll be right back.
Hey, I'm Kyle Busch, and when I'm in Maine, I watch Mainly Motorsports.
Patman's Redemption and Agency Liquor Store is located at 95 Tanberg Trail in Windham, Maine. With over 400 feet of hard liquor and 15 doors of ice-cold beer and soda, Patman's can handle all of your beverage needs. And if it's wine on your agenda, we have over 300 varieties in stock. Then when the party's over, Patman's can handle all of your Maine returnables, and we welcome all bottle drives. And if you're late for the race, drop off the bottles and pick up the cash at your convenience.
Hey, this is Pat Man himself, just letting you know that Pat Man's is your one-stop shop for all your thirsty needs.
All of us at Moody's Collision Centers would like to thank you for supporting us for over 30 years.
We all own stock in Moody's and have a vested interest in you and your vehicle.
The people at Moody's Collision Centers are part of the community, and our reputation is very important to us.
We take pride in our work and guarantee our repairs for as long as you own your vehicle.
At Moody's Collision Center, we care about our customers.
So when your insurance company asks where you want to go, tell them Moody's Collision Centers. 4 convenient locations: Gorham, Scarborough, Biddeford, and now Portland.
You're watching Mainly Motorsports, brought to you by LKQ Corp. Any part, any repair, anywhere. Located on Route 202 in Gorham. Moody's Collision Centers, now in 5 convenient locations: Biddeford, Gorham, Portland, Sanford, and Scarborough.
To order copies of a show, send a check or money order for $15, shipping and handling included, to Mainly Motorsports, 326 Roosevelt Trail, Windham, Maine, 04062. And please add a description of the show.
Well, Greg, you haven't really experienced the MAINELY'S.
No, but...
not that it's a big deal, but you know what? This will be the 4th annual MAINELY'S. It's one of the things...
It is a big deal because people love getting awards.
And, we put it out. I take all the categories, driver of the year, certain categories, and I really, we've talked about it.
Don't you have like 5 categories that you change up every year?
Yeah, I try to change up.
Special.
Obviously all the driver of the years are the same.
Yeah.
Premier, touring, and all that. We try to change up, find some categories. 1 year it was favorite racing family. Driver you'd most like to see make a comeback, and I love that one because Jeff Taylor won. 2 years later he comes back and whoops him. You know what I mean? So. Just try to come up with some different things, This year, if I can find,
Are you going to spill the beans on this show, what your new categories are?
Yeah, I'm actually looking for some suggestions.
Oh.
You know?
So people can go to the Facebook page.
Yeah.
Throw a thing up. Hey, this is what I think would be a good idea for a MAINELY'S category.
Yeah, you know, we're looking for suggestions.
A non-typical category.
Yeah, something like last year we had favorite food.
Right.
We had best website, you know?
Yep.
I had best non-oval track, or favorite non-oval track coverage, you know?
I got one.
What?
Best temporary co-host of a TV show.
People, do you know what will win? The vacant seat. Right? But no, like, you know, so we've done different things. Like, I've come up with one this year, and I think I'm going to put it in there. The Dominator. You know, obviously you're pitting guys that are probably nominated in Driver of the Year categories.
Right.
But also in that category could be Kyle Busch at the 250 weekend.
Right.
You know, won everything that mattered. 2 heats, 2 features.
Took home the money.
Yeah. So, you know, those are the type of things we look for. We give all the track photographers the opportunity to
throw some pictures up.
Throw some pictures up, and then your favorite photo.
Right.
Wiz up there had 2-year winning streak until Chris Roy hit the lottery last year with Richard Jordan's wreck up to Wiscasset, where the loaded tires were 15, 20 feet in the air, you know.
Right, yeah.
So we'll see. I always like to see what those guys, you know, send in, you know, and it's pretty neat.
The photo thing is, I mean, who was it last year? Bobby Bristol had the pit fight.
Oh yeah, the pit fight at Beach Ridge. You know, the Wilds and who was it? Wink, I think, wasn't it? Right? And,
yeah.
David Wild's wife, they're throwing the knuckles down. You know, and it was like I say, it's neat to see. And poor Steve LeClaire, he's tried everything from sending in a picture of a girl in a bikini standing next to a car, superimposing heads on everything. It's like, you got to find a good picture, you know? Maybe he's just stuck in here. I don't know what the deal is, but...
Steve's a good photographer.
Oh, yeah, he is. So
all those guys are good. You know, they all work with you and, you know...
Yeah, and I'll tell you, we couldn't put...
a lot of stuff
the
together.
Quality of show that we put together if it wasn't for Jamie and Chris, Norm Marks, you know, Wiz... You know, these guys sending us the stuff.
Steve and Bobby Bristol.
Bobby Bristol, Steve's
Right.
son, you know, and, you know, sending us the stuff to be able to put our pieces together.
Right, yeah.
You know, because it just adds flair.
They all work good with, you know, that's one thing about the track the traveling photographers, track photographers, whatever you want to call them. They all work good together, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I think on Jamie's site, I saw a picture of Chris taking a picture, you know?
Yeah, you know, and a lot of times Chris will take pictures and send them to Norm so Norm can use it for the pass site.
tour, right.
Jamie does that, or Norm will take pictures if he's at a race and send them to Chris so Chris can put them on his customer's website.
Right.
So, you know, it is good because, let's face it, we're all in this game together.
Right, and I guess the best shout out to give them would be if you guys are interested in anything they got, then go
to their websites or go to our websites and link over to theirs, you know, and really support what they do.
Right, yeah.
So, Facebook page, like you said, send in some, and don't be mad if I don't pick it, because I have to not only pick it, you know, we got to find the possible entries in it, you know.
Right, yeah.
You know, so I like...
send it to the Mainly Motorsports Facebook page, not the Greg Emerson Facebook page or the Steve Perry Facebook page.
And then we'll look at it. Like I said, I like to change up 3 or 4 each year. We have 15 categories. We'll get them all up. We'll announce on the show when the voting's off.
So keep your eyes peeled for the MAINELY'S.
Yeah, and then they go and do that, and then we award them at the 24th Annual Northeast Motorsports Expo.
Which is going to be a big deal.
That's going to be a big deal. So we're going to come back and we'll talk more about that when we get back right here on Mainly Motorsports.
Award Champs, rewarding your champions. The official supplier of Mainly Motorsports.
5 years ago, I went shopping for my family's first camper. I didn't like the prices, and I didn't like the way I was treated. A year later, I opened up Scott's Recreation.
Today, Scott's Recreation is Maine's exclusive multi-line Heartland dealer, along with being Maine's #1 fifth-wheel dealer 2 years in a row. Browse through the new 2012 Heartland models or take advantage of closeout prices on 2011s. Scott's welcomes almost anything in trade, financing available too. Scott's Recreation, Route 202 in Manchester, and their new Turner location on Route 4.
Hey, are you Bob Crowley?
Hey, yeah.
Are you going to Ossipee Trail?
Yes, I am.
Sweet. Get in.
People will do whatever they gotta do to get to Ossipee Trail Motor Sales, Route 25, Gorham.
You're watching Mainly Motorsports, brought to you by Northern Race Tire, dealer for Sunoco Race Fuels, distributed by New England Racing Fuel. Southern Maine Motors, out to be Maine's #1 Chrysler Dodge Jeep dealership, Route 1 Saco.
Well, Greg, like we mentioned before we went to break, it's always something that I'm doing. And now it's the 24th Annual Northeast Motorsports Expo, my third go-around at this big deal up in Augusta.
You're like the Tasmanian devil of promotion.
Yeah. Yeah, how come I don't like...
Stuff flying everywhere.
Yeah, there is stuff flying everywhere, but you know what? It's sneaking up on us, and it's less than 3 months, well, about 3 months away by the time people see this episode.
Yep.
3 months away. You know, year one, you know, my first one was good. I called last year a rousing success. And I don't gauge success by, you know, at the end of the day, whether your stack is this big or this big. I gauge success by the comments of the people that pay to come in, the comments of the exhibitors that are displaying their products, or the vendors that are trying to sell their products. And everyone in the first 2 years has been really pleased with what we've tried to put together, you know?
Yeah, it's about keeping the show going. I mean, I know Tim did it for how many years? Like
he did
25?
22.
22. So, I mean, and Tim had to step away at some point, you know. Time passes on.
Yeah.
And he did a great job for a lot of years, and now he's thrown the torch to you.
And
I didn't want to say the baton because that implies that you run. So.
Yeah, no, I don't run too far. But, you know, last year was really a great time.
Yep.
You know, the exhibitors, the tracks, tours, everybody involved, the organizations, the pulling tractors, the go-karts, the drag strips, everybody stepped up their programs. And that's all I ask of them. Listen, I'll get them here. You keep them here.
Right.
You know, so if you're walking by a booth and the guy's, you know, selling transmissions or, you know, got anything.
Right.
Just acknowledge the person. You know, hey, how you doing? So if they spend a minute here and a minute there, now that trip that used to be an hour and a half is 4 hours.
Right. And I remember when I went there when I was younger. You used to go in, they'd give you like a gift bag when you get in the door with a couple things in it, and then you were off, and that gift bag was full of stuff, you know, hero cards and pictures and newspapers and this and that, you know, and I started seeing a little bit of that coming back last year, you know. It's starting to roll back uphill, downhill instead of staying in the gutter, you know.
Yeah, and one of the things we tried to do last year was I asked all the tracks and tours to work with me and let's do these autograph hours. Well, it's tough because, you know, people don't show up, people, you know, the tracks, they're doing enough on their own.
Right.
So what I'm going to do this year is I still think that autograph thing is big. I really do. To these kids, older people, you know, I mean, I think it's a big deal, you know. Maybe to me and you, we don't need Joey Pole's autograph, but you know what? To that little kid or that girl,
right,
you know what I mean? And so what I'm going to do this year, I think, is I'm going to set a designated area, and I might do it out in the North Wing, try to draw some more traffic out there, and I'll coordinate the autograph hours.
You're taking an old thing and you're putting a new spin on it, aren't you?
Yeah. You know, so like we might have...
I'm sure you got some more tricks up your sleeve.
Oh, I'm like P.T. Barnum. Right? I'll be on the high wire. You know?
Am I going to be Buffalo Bill in your circus?
Yeah, Buffalo Bill. Me, you, we're getting out of a car. Yeah, be about all get out of a car. But no,
we should do a wrestling match. Me, you, and Lou.
Me, you, and Lou. I want Lou on my side.
Yeah, against Brick and whoever he can ramble up.
Yeah.
No, because he'll get Penfold. I'm out.
Yeah, no, we're out. Yeah, no, Bill on our side. But so that I think that'll be a pretty neat thing. You know, like for example, we were just sitting here talking. You know, before we come back. You know, Dan, Lauren, Lyman, McKeag. You know, this hour's the McKeags.
Right.
You know, a couple hours later, it's the Rows.
Rose, yep.
Gunner Rowe, Braxton Rowe, Mike Rowe, Ben Rowe. You know what I mean? So, you know, the young guns. Maybe get Austin Terrio and Joey Pole. I mean, I'm not speaking out of turn. I don't want to think I've committed to anybody, and you know, don't say I don't want nobody watching.
You're just throwing out the basic idea.
You know, so just different things, you know, and then by me doing it ahead of time, getting it lined up, I can get it on the website, which Norm Marks does a great job with.
Yep.
And then people can look and they can say, "Well, I don't know what time I'm going, but geez, I want to see so and so and so and so," and they're going to be signing autographs at 4 o'clock. So I'm going to go at 3,
Right.
and then I can catch them, you know?
You're actually going to try to have a schedule?
Yeah, I'm going to have a schedule. Don't count on it, but we're going to have a schedule. No, and it, you know,
Yeah.
because what I'll do... like
it makes it nice because a lot of people do travel to go to that show.
Yeah.
So they're going to want to plan on landing there at a certain time.
Yeah, because if they want to see... You know, Eddie McDonald's been a great support. He's been to my show 2 years in a row, and I'm
Right,
sure
yeah.
Eddie McDonald will come up. You know, so people might want to say, geez, I'd like to get Eddie's autograph. I'm going to try to get the tours. Obviously, Johnny Clark looks like he's going to win the tour here in, you know, the past tour. Brian Hoare wanted to come last year, wasn't able to make it. I'm going to try to get him to come up.
Right.
And I'd like to get whoever wins the tour championship on the modified racing series. Looks like Chris Pastriak. So if they could line him up. So we
Right.
got an hour where the 3 of them sitting there, you know, champions.
champ
You know what I
hour,
mean?
yeah.
So just trying to do some different things. You know, I really, you don't need to do crazy stuff with this thing because we have a lot of local legends and a lot of local talent right here in the
Yeah.
great state of Maine and New Hampshire and Vermont and Connecticut and Massachusetts. So let's feed off that, you know?
Right, yep.
I mean, Dave Dion came to our first show. What a huge success it was having Dave Dion there, you know? So.
Yep.
But that's coming up January 6th, 7th, and 8th. Anybody that's interested in being a vendor, you can go to the website, northeastmotorsportsexpo.net. We're going to have vendor forms up. You can download them. There's only so many vendor spaces available in the main auditorium because it's where we put all the race cars and stuff.
And all the information
Yep.
on space sizes on
Yeah,
there and
everything
yep.
you need to be. If you're a track or a tour, you need some information. You can reach me, call me, email me. You know, so it's going to be fun. It's, you know, we're saying 3 months. Next thing we know, we'll be saying 2 months, 1 month. We'll be saying next week. So it's coming.
And I'll be getting the call. You're going to be available, right?
We'll be all right. Wah. So no, but that's good. Well, we're going to take a break. When we come back, you're going to hear from all the champions up at Unity Raceway. You know, got some characters up there.
More champions.
More champions right here on Mainly Motorsports.
All of us at Moody's Collision Centers would like to thank you for supporting us for over 30 years.
We all own stock in Moody's and have a vested interest in you and your vehicle.
The people at Moody's Collision Centers are part of the community, and our reputation is very important to us.
We take pride in our work and guarantee our repairs for as long as you own your vehicle.
At Moody's Collision Center, we care about our customers.
So when your insurance company asks where you want to go, tell them Moody's Collision Centers. 4 convenient locations: Gorham, Scarborough, Biddeford, and now Portland.
People will do whatever they gotta do to get to Ossipee Trail Motor Sales, Route 25, Gorham.
My name is Chris Marley. We're here at Unity Raceway today, championship night, and we've caught up with Zach Audette, who has just clinched the 2011 Monster Mini Division. We want to congratulate you, Zach. Sum up for us what your year's been like.
Well, I've had a really good year. We got 10 wins this year in this car, and it's been a phenomenal year. We've only had one, didn't finish out of the top 3, so...
So it's been a good year. What do you, in your estimation, what's it take to win a championship here on what people are saying is one of the toughest tracks there is to run on in the state?
Consistency, that's the key to it. That's the key to this track is consistency.
So just being at it all the time, understanding what your setup is and learning what you've got to do?
That's correct.
And who's behind you that you'd like to thank today, Zach, for this championship?
Well, Tire King, Kennebec Metal Recycling, Groundhog Graphics, S&D Transportation, Charlie and Sons, Cornerstone Dental. There's all kinds of people. Scott, my dad, my parents. They've helped out a lot.
Yep. Well, again, we want to congratulate you. We look forward to seeing you out here next year. Are you staying in the same division next year?
We don't know yet. It's up in the air.
Time will tell? Okay, well, thanks, Zach, and again, congratulations. We're here with Morris Young, who has just taken the 2011 Wildcat Championship, and we want to congratulate you on that. Now, I understand that you were a multi-champion at Wiscasset Raceway. This is your first year racing at Unity?
I've raced here, it was like 15 years ago I raced here, so I kind of cut my teeth here in 93, and all 94, 95, and left here and went down there, but it's nice to come back home, I guess.
Yep. No doubt, and just tell us, what do you think are the major differences between running in Wiscasset, taking a championship there, and taking a championship here in Unity?
Well, to win a championship, it's kind of, to me, it's kind of the same. You got to race the racetrack, beat the racetrack, and if you can do that, then the points will come. But as far as racetrack versus racetrack, night and day difference. You know, I luckily I found success up here, but Wiscasset is bigger, it's smoother, and I want to go back to the 15th.
Yeah, I bet you do. That's going to be a great time down there for sure. We're planning on being down there. Who do you have behind you for sponsors and people who have helped you to achieve this championship?
Well, first of all, I got to thank Jeremy Davo. Him and I, we've built this whole car together ourselves. The only thing that I don't do is the machine work because I don't have the stuff. But as far as the chassis, him and I, we've done the whole thing. Hanged the body, built the car, painted everything. So Jeremy Davo right off the bat. My girlfriend Christy, she's a big supporter. My dad, he's here today. He won a couple of championships, so I'm glad he could be with me. Definitely going to thank Lloyd Brown, Lloyd Brown Trucking, Rita McCulloch, ERA Web Associates, Mike's Auto Repair and Towing, Barry's Collision Center, and Clark's Custom Car Crushing.
Okay. Well, great, Morris. Again, congratulations from Mainly Motorsports. We look forward to seeing you out here, and we'll definitely see you over in Wiscasset on the 15th.
Thank you very much.
We've caught up with Lance Chapman, who has just conquered the Pro 4 Division Championship this year here at Unity Speedway. We want to congratulate you, Lance, on that championship. Now, I understand this was your rookie year in the Pro 4 Division. You came into it real strong, and now here you are, the champion. Take us through that year for us, would you?
Well, it started off the best it could, I guess. Winning opening day, the heat and the feature, and then I think we ended up winning 4 out of 6 or 4 out of 7 right at the beginning of the year. So it started off real strong and had a little bad point towards the middle of the season, a couple motor problems, and nothing too serious, I guess.
So what do you think your biggest hurdle was coming into this division your first year out?
Pretty much just getting used to the speed of the car and maintaining it over the week. Battling with tire stagger issues and just trying to keep up with it, really.
Yeah, and I understand also you had another milestone take place this year in your life. You had a little baby boy, I understand.
Yes, she gave birth to my son Lane 6 weeks ago on Wednesday. 9 pounds, 4 ounces, and 22 inches long.
I'm assuming that probably took your focus off racing a little bit.
Yeah, it did. I pretty much like to finish the year, and I'll probably take next year off, and who knows, spend some time with them, really, is the biggest thing.
Lance, who do you have behind you that you'd like to thank that's helped you to achieve this championship this year?
Well, my car owners, Scott and Kathy Horn of Wild Things Live Bait, and my dad, my girlfriend Samantha for putting up with it for so long. 19 weeks is a long season to be doing racing every week. And my cousin John behind us, he's been there helping on the car, and it's been a big effort. My friend Ryan, and he's not here yet, but he will be. And he's been a lot too every week. We changed the motor in this thing twice in the last 3 weeks, so the help has been great.
It helps to have a good team behind you. How about sponsors? You got sponsors that you'd like to thank?
Wayne Elston Speed Shop out of Carmel. He's been great for the last 3 years I've been racing, 4 years I've been racing. And Wild Things Live Bait and Tackle. Distance Racing Chassis out of Fairfield. He put the set up under the car, and it was real close out of the box. We didn't have to change much, which is good.
Excellent. Well, Lance, again, congratulations, and we look forward to seeing you out here, maybe not next year, but the year after, I'm sure.
All right, thank you very much.
We're here with Chad Folsom, who has just captured the 6-cylinder Challenger Division Championship here at Unity Raceway. Want to congratulate you on your win. I understand that all season long you've had first and second place until last week. You had your worst finish of all, which was third place, right?
That's correct.
So I'm assuming if you can say your worst finish was third place, that you've had a pretty good year. Kind of sum that up for us, if you would.
Oh, it's been an excellent year. It's a lot of fun to do. Everybody ought to try it. It's a great time.
Well, it sure sounds like it is. Who do you have behind you that you'd like to thank? Sponsors, family members that may have helped you to get this championship?
First off, I'd like to thank my father up at Folsom & Sons. Without him, I wouldn't have been able to do this. All of my family and my brothers and all that, they've all been a great help, and without them, I wouldn't have been able to do it.
Are you planning on moving up any divisions or anything next year, Chad?
I'm planning on running the Flying Fours next year.
Good. All right. So we'll look forward to seeing you out here then. And again, congratulations from Mainly Motorsports. Okay.
Thank you.
We've caught up with Jeff Burgess, who just took the late model 2011 championship. We want to congratulate you on that. Jeff, I understand at the beginning of the year you had made the statement that you wanted to win more races. You came in the first race, which was a 111 lapper, and to my understanding, you held that race all but a couple of laps that somebody else was leading, and walked away. Now here you are, champion. So I would say that you've accomplished your goal.
Yes, sir. We sure did. We started out the season. We won the first 2 of the 3 races, and then had some seconds, and we ended up winning 6 races for the year, which was our goal, to win more than we did last year, which was 4. And the ultimate goal was to be the point championship at the end of the year, and we attained that. So I guess it's an all success.
Excellent. Now tell me, you and David Folsom ran real tight in points right up to last week. You took a 23-point lead. What was that like for you coming in this week, knowing that it was that close for you?
It took a little bit of the burden off, knowing that you had to just finish you had to be like 10 cars away from it at all time, and you still could win the championship. But I didn't come to finish 10 spots behind him. I came to win, and unfortunately we finished 5th, but we got banged up a couple times, so pretty lucky just to get 5th out of the night. So
yeah, it looked like you had kind of a rough night out there. Who would you like to thank for this championship?
Well, I got to thank my family, my wife, Naya, my son Chase, my mom, my sister Steph. Mike Silver helped me all year long, and he brought a car out at the end of the season, so he was no longer helping. But Mickey Landry was on the crew all year long. He set my sway bar and tires. And I'd like to thank Pro Shocks and Burgess Racing and Fabrication.
All right, well, Jeff, great. We want to congratulate you again for Mainly Motorsports, and we look forward to seeing you out here next year.
Very good. I thank you guys for coming. Thank you.
We're here with Austin Clemens, who has clinched the 2011 Team Thunder Division Championship here at Unity Raceway. We want to congratulate you, Austin, on that win. And just tell us how it feels to be the 2011 champion.
Well, it feels pretty good. We wasn't going to run for points at the beginning, but then people got moved up, and we got the chance to win. And it was neck to neck between me and a few other people, so we decided to go for it, and somehow we came out with it good.
Yep, you sure did. Now, I understand that you're moving up to another division next year?
Yep. This year, too, I'm going to run it this time and a few other times this year and see how it goes for us, to see what we need to do next year. Then see how it goes from there.
And which division is that you're moving up to?
Flying Fours.
Flying Fours, great, great. Now, who would you like to thank that helped you to achieve this championship this year?
I'd like to thank Wayne Miller, Shadow Folsom, and my dad.
Okay, well, again, congratulations. We look forward to seeing you out here next year.
Thank you.
We're here with Kyle Robinson, who has won the Flying 4 Championship here for 2011 at Unity Raceway. We want to congratulate you for that, Kyle. Kyle, I understand your brother Cole was running right behind you in the points, and I got to know what that's like running with your brother, and you guys are both right there for the championship.
Just like remembering last year when he used to beat me all the time, and getting used to being able to beat him sometimes in one thing, and getting so I can win in something. And I haven't won a race this year, and it's going to be good. And it's going to be good because it's going to be different, because I'm going to be the only one that has a point championship without a win.
Well, good, great. And are you staying in this division another year, or are you going to move up?
No, we're racing Monster Minis next year.
Good for you. And who would you like to thank that maybe has helped you get to this point with this championship? Sponsors?
My parents and Barry Woods.
All right, well, once again, we congratulate you. We look forward to seeing you out there again next year.
Thank you.
At Southern Maine Motors, we're celebrating Jeep's 70th anniversary with our spring events.
Get the vehicle you want at a price no one else can touch. Like a 2011 Jeep Compass, lease for only $239 a month for 39 months. Or a 2011 Jeep Grand Cherokee, lease for only $299 a month. Plus, right now, used car values are at an all-time high. Bring in your own vehicle and drive off in a brand new car. With savings this big, it's no wonder Southern Maine Motors is out to be Maine's #1 Chrysler Dodge Jeep dealer. Visit southernmainmotors.com.
Hey, I'm Kyle Busch, and when I'm in Maine, I watch Mainly Motorsports.
Clark's Car Crushing has been a family-owned and operated business since 1978. We do everything from crushing cars, handling industrial scraps, to buying the scrap metal right out of the back of your pickup. Copper, brass, stainless steel, aluminum, you name it, we'll buy it. We have roll-off containers of all sizes for industrial accounts. We'll handle the legwork with full drop-off and pickup services. So for a professional job, guaranteed honest weights, and top dollar paid statewide, come see the Clark family in Farmingdale, Maine. Clark's Car Crushing. Don't fix it, scrap it.
You're watching Mainly Motorsports, brought to you by Gary Hotels, located in Brunswick, Freeport, Waterville, and Augusta, the official hotel of Mainly Motorsports.
So now we're back, and we just saw the Unity Champs, and
Unity this weekend.
Here we go. The Long John is this weekend, and then the MSA show is this weekend.
Yeah, and then don't forget the Dash for Cash.
Right.
Sunday, some go-karters going to take home, maybe a couple go-karters take home $1,500.
There you go, some big dollars.
Big dollars going on. A lot going on this weekend.
Yep.
Then the following weekend,
we got the Save Wiscasset.
You know, a lot of race fans, a lot of racers, a lot of former supporters of Wiscasset are all stepping up to try to.
And unfortunately, because of the weather, the past finale at Oxford got rescheduled till then.
You know, so but there's a chance for the fans to, you know, say, hey, I want to go over, kind of support Wiscasset, throw them the $5 because they cannot make $1. So just throw them the $5. You know, show the support. Maybe watch a little heat racing or something. I mean, so you're going to spend some gas money and some $5. Then drive over and catch the feature action at Oxford if you wanted to, you know. So
what's the schedule looking like for after that for races in the state of Maine?
Not much in the state of Maine. I think that's it. You know, the Fernal Frenzy got moved to the 22nd, but I think that's it. Maine's done.
We're going to have to dig out the schedules and travel south.
You got Oktoberfest, Thompson Flea Market, but, you know, still a lot to go on, you know, so get out and support what's happening, you know, right here in the good old state of Maine, and you know, and then start marking.
There we go.
Marking your calendars.
We're gonna migrate. We're gonna be birds.
Yeah, I'd like to see you get off the ground. January 6th, 7th, and 8th, the 24th Annual Northeast Motorsports Expo. Featuring us. Us. But for Greg, I'm Steve, and I hope you enjoyed this week's edition of Mainly Motorsports, and we'll see you next time, right here on Mainly Motorsports.
To order copies of a show, send a check or money order for $15, shipping and handling included, to Mainly Motorsports, 326 Roosevelt Trail, Windham, Maine, 04062. And please add a description of the show.